Hello and welcome to WordPress Tip of the Week. This is week number 46. Wow, can't believe we're nearing the end, just 6 more weeks to go. This wraps up the 5-part series on working with Gravity forms. And on this last part, we're going to go over how you can extract some of the data from the database. So what I did is I made a staff inquiry page where people can select a staff member and says please select an employee, and then have a nice little drop down, and when you click on submit, then it'll give information about that current employee, what department they're in, and their salary. So let's go over how we did it. So here we are on the dashboard. So the first thing that I did is I went to pages, all pages, then created a page called Staff Inquire. It's, let's see, right down here. And then I went into my cPanel, File Manager, Public HTML, WP Content, Themes, and then of course our child theme. And then I made a template called Staff Inquire Template. And then I made sure that I set the Staff Inquire page to use this Staff Inquire template, because if it didn't, you wouldn't be able to see the information it's extracting. Alright, so let's go over the Staff Inquire template here. So let's go ahead and right click and choose Edit. Okay, really very simple. Template name, again, is called Staff Inquire. And the first thing we're doing is we're getting the header, and then we're declaring the global WPDB, which is the WordPress database variable. And then so what it's doing is it's starting alphabetically from A to Z, and it's all. So now we're getting all that information and we're putting it into an array R, and then we're counting how many elements are in there. Okay, so then what I'm doing is I have a little bit of CSS in here with width of 90% and a minimum height of 600 px for the page, and then a font size of 20. Okay, so let's scroll down a tiny bit here. I have an H3 tag for a select a staff member. Now, I'm setting the form action to nothing. So in other words, it's going to use the one page on to retrieve the form, and then the method is post. So now I have and I'm calling it person. You can call it whatever you like. And then for the option value, what I have selected is select the employee and not have a particular employee, say like Ronald Donald, automatically show up. So this will prompt them to go ahead and use that drop down. Okay, so then after that, I'm doing a count based on the number of elements that are in here, which in our case is 6. So the option value is what gets passed. So I'm retrieving the ID, okay, because each person has a unique ID. That's why I'm going by ID. So let's go into our PHP-MyAdmin, and then go into our WPE2 employees table. Okay, so what is unique about this table is the ID, because this ID is an auto increment, excuse me, so it'll always be unique. So the next record that we put in will be 13, 14, and so on. Okay, so that's why we're looking for the ID. So what it's going to do is it's displaying the F name, which is the first name, and then a space, and then the last name inside the option. So in other words, when you click here, you have, see, Ronald space Donald, Jane space Henderson, and so on. Okay, and then we're closing out the select statement, and then just returning, and then here is our submit button, and then we're closing the form. So now this next statement, if is set post submit, basically what that means is, has the submit button been pushed? If it has, and what it's going to do is it's going to get the ID from this person. This is our name of the select statement, and the option value that's getting passed is ID. So we're setting this to person, and then we're putting it into a variable called ID. And then what we're doing is we're running a query to retrieve that specific ID. So if this is number 4, it will retrieve ID number 4. If this is 5, and so on. And it's getting the results, and then what it's doing is it's setting the first name to the D0, which is the only record it's returning, and then same thing for last name, department, and salary. And then we have, here is the current information for F name, which is the person's first name, a space, and then their last name, and then the return. And then we're bolding the department, and we're displaying the department that they're in, putting in an enter, and then displaying the salary. And then we're getting the footer. And that is all there is to it. Oops, I'm sorry. When you go here and you select, say, Susie Jones, what it's doing is it's finding the ID for Susie Jones, which in our case is number 4. And then you click on submit, and now it's retrieving all the information for Susie. And then here's the current information. Here's her first name, last name, and then the bold for department, and then customer service is her department, as you can see, and then her salary is $47,000. And then that displays out her salary nice and neat looking. Okay, so this concludes our 5-part series on working with Gravity Forms. As you can see, you can utilize Gravity Forms in a number of different ways and extract all kinds of information from the specific form. So it's very functional and very versatile. Okay, that wraps up this week's WordPress Tip of the Week. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I invite you to like and subscribe. And until next week, take care. Bye.